Good morning. Welcome to Crochet with Nonna Rosanna. I'm Rosanna, and today is our first update for the book cover inspiration for May. I have been listening to the book, and it's fabulous. It's by Kristen Hanna, and it's The Winter Gardens. And this book was submitted uh, to me by Dale Ann, and I did the random draw and picked that. So I'm really enjoying the book. It's about two sisters and their mom, and their basically non-existent mother-daughter relationship. And I'm not going to say too much more because it is very good, and it's very insightful to see what it was like when the mother was younger. And I'm really, really enjoying it. So Dale Ann, thank you so much for recommending it. I'm really enjoying it. So, as you can see by the cover, I'll put it up here. They'll probably up there. I'm not sure when I'm editing what I'm doing really sometimes. But it's all in blues. Blue's my favorite color, so I was very pleased about that. And the colors I've chosen for this project are a Craft Smart, and it is just blue. And the colors are really good. Like, that's a perfect color match right now. Sometimes my colors work, sometimes they don't. So that's the first blue I'm using. And then the second blue I'm using is light blue, and it's also a Craft Smart, upside down. So two blues, and they're really indicative of the skies. And then the next color I'm using is another Craft Smart, and it's Periwinkle. And I really like this color because if you look in the middle of the book, it's like a purpley black color, and I thought this would be a good color just to add a little bit in there of a different color. And then I'm using my scraps. This actually feels like a Craft Smart yarn, and I've got a whole bunch of black scraps upstairs, so I'm using black. And the other color I'm using is white, and this feels like a red heart white to me. So I've got a whole bunch more, but I just bring the samples in. And then I've got one more blue. I'm not sure if I'm going to add it or not because it's very similar to the Craft Smart. And it is a red heart, and it is, what's it say? Another light blue. So they're very similar, so I'm not sure if I'm going to add this one in or not. I haven't decided yet. So those are the colors I've chosen for the book. And I have been going over several squares. I've made 4 or 5 different squares. The squares are lovely, but they're not appropriate for a wheelchair lapghan because they're too holy, and I just don't think that they would work. The first, and I will link all the squares and the tutorials below. And the first one I made, which I started ripping out actually, is this one, and it was just too holy. And I don't know if it's my tension, but I just couldn't get a nice square. I like my squares to be square. So, there are some, like it's a nice square, but not the way I crochet. I think it's too loose and won't be good for a lapghan. So that was my first one that I made. And I'm just going to rip all these out and use the yarn in the one that I've decided to make. The next one I made was this one here, and it's not too bad, but it's also wavy. And I think it's because I'm a very loose crocheter. I'm not sure. And it does have a lot of holes in it. And these flip up. If I don't lay them flat, these flip up. And I don't think this would be a good square for an industrial wash machine. So lovely square. I might use it for something else in the future. I might not tear this one out because I really like it. But for an industrial washing at the seniors home, I don't think it'll be a good square for lapghan. So that was another one I did. And then I made 2 of these squares. This was one, and I just didn't like, I thought it was just too much light in the middle. And I had another blue in there, but it almost looks gray. And it too is waffling on me, even if I put it this way. Well, when I lay it flat, but when you hold it, it just, see. So I don't think it's the designer. I think it's me because her squares look perfect. But it is a lovely square. So I decided to try this again. with some different yarns and eliminate the gray in there. So that was that. And again, it's waffling a bit. So I like my squares to be flat, flat, flat. So these are all nose. These 4 squares are nose. So I'll just be frogging these and using them in my square. So then I did find a square and I totally love it. I believe I've probably done it in the past, but can't remember. And it's this square here. So it's a little smaller and there's some puff stitches and then 3 double crochets together. But it's a nice firm, perfect for a lapgan. I don't have much waving at all. It lies really flat. So this is the square I've decided I'm going on. And I tried it first with the magic ring, but it started to waffle in the middle. So I did go by the designer. I don't usually do it. It starts with a chain 5, but I decided to follow the instructions and it made it a lot better. So I think this is the square I'm going to be using and I like it. There you go. The color's getting blown out a bit, but that's the square. It's a simple square and I'm really enjoying it. So I've made a couple. So I'm not sure if I'm going to make the whole blanket like this or just use, and they actually almost match up to my squares that I make when I'm on the treadmill. Treadmill squares are a little looser. I've got one here. So that's just a basic granny square. And if you put them together, they're not too bad. It's just a tiny, tiny bit. But I figure once I do the continuous join, and I'll be doing the continuous join in the light blue. So I think that'll work out. So I'll alter the 2 squares together. So I'm very pleased the way this turned out, and it was a happy accident that it's the exact same stitch count on the last row for both of them. So that's what I'm planning to do. Have you decided to do a blanket or anything with these colors in it? If you're a blue fan, I'm sure you are. So I'm very happy with the blues that I've chosen, and I'll be working on this for the next couple weeks, and I will see you at the end of the month for my final blanket for our book cover inspiration. I'm very happy with the blue, and I'll be working on that in the near future. I've been working on some other projects right now. I got those squares ready, so I'm very happy with that. Just wanted to say, I think spring has finally come to Southern Ontario. We've had some lovely weather. I went out and got some flowers, some hanging baskets. So my garden, my husband and I decided this weekend that we will open up our backyard. Our backyard's always open, but uncover all the furniture, hang up all our paintings and prints that we have out there. And hopefully we're on our way to a beautiful spring and a wonderful summer. So I uh, I know a lot of you know that I love sitting in my backyard in our gazebo. And if you haven't been with for a while, I love sitting out in the backyard and crocheting. We have a couch out there and a couple chairs, and we have a TV also, so I can watch my YouTube out there on the big TV. So that's hopefully what I'll start doing soon. So I just wanted to say, have a wonderful day. Enjoy yourselves, and hopefully it's nice where you are right now. And I'll be heading out to lunch with my daughter and my mom today, so I'm looking forward to that. So thank you very much, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.